Good morning, friends. Today we gather to explore a truth that resonates deeply with each of us. Life often places us under immense pressure. It's a reality we cannot avoid, whether it's the demands of work, the trials in our relationships, or the unexpected challenges that seem to come out of nowhere. Pressure, as uncomfortable as it may be, is not the enemy. In fact, it can become the very tool that shapes us, molds us, and propels us toward growth. You see, God has a plan for every one of us, a plan to prosper us, not to harm us. But here's the key: that plan often involves a process, and that process, it requires us to make progress even when the weight of pressure feels overwhelming. This morning, I want to encourage you with this truth. The same God who allows the pressure also provides the strength to endure it and the wisdom to grow through it. Together we'll look at how to trust Him in the midst of life's challenges and how to find purpose in the process of progress under pressure. So let's open our hearts, quiet our minds, and lean into what God wants to teach us today about thriving, not just surviving under pressure. Pressure often has a way of exposing what lies beneath the surface. When we face difficult situations, the stresses and challenges we endure can help us discover aspects of ourselves that we never knew existed. In moments of pressure, we are often forced to confront our weaknesses, our fears, and our limitations. These times may feel discouraging, but they also hold the potential for the most profound discoveries about our purpose. When the weight of life's pressures increases, it has a way of sifting through our lives, separating what is truly important from what may have been distractions. In this process, we begin to understand who we really are and what we are truly made of. We start to recognize our capabilities, our inner strength, and the potential that was lying dormant, waiting for the right moment to be brought to light. The pressure we experience in life isn't there by accident. It is often a tool for refining us, helping us clarify our values and our direction. The challenges we face become the very thing that reveals our true purpose. In the midst of these challenges, God is at work. He doesn't simply allow pressure to be a random or meaningless force in our lives. Instead, He uses it to direct our focus and to align us more closely with His will. We may not always understand the reasons for the pressures we face, but we can trust that God is using them to lead us towards something greater. The pressure reveals a deeper, more powerful sense of purpose that might otherwise remain hidden in the comfort of easy circumstances. For example, think about the process of refining gold. Gold is put through intense heat, melted down, and purified. It's a painful and uncomfortable process, yet the result is a much more valuable and refined product. Similarly, the pressures we experience in life are refining us. The uncomfortable situations are shaping us into people of greater character, strength, and resilience. Without the heat, we would never discover the true value that is within us. This idea is also true in the Bible, where we see time and again how God uses difficult situations to reveal the purpose in the lives of His people. Joseph, for example, was sold into slavery by his brothers and thrown into prison. Yet through all these trials, he was being prepared for a position of influence and leadership in Egypt. His story illustrates how God uses pressure not to punish us, but to prepare us for greater opportunities. The pressure Joseph faced revealed not only his inner strength, but also his ability to trust God's plan, even when the way forward seemed unclear. Another powerful example is the Apostle Paul. Throughout his ministry, Paul faced relentless opposition, imprisonment, and hardship. However, these pressures revealed his deep faith and commitment to spreading the gospel. Paul's experiences, though filled with suffering, became the foundation for much of the New Testament. They showed him not only how to endure, but also how to embrace God's call on his life, even when it led him into difficult circumstances. When we are under pressure, we may feel like we're losing control or like life is too overwhelming to bear. But it is in those very moments that God is doing His most powerful work. He is revealing our purpose through the pressure, shaping us into individuals who are capable of handling greater responsibilities and fulfilling greater destinies. It is often through difficulty that we realize the strength we have, not because we possess it within ourselves, but because God has given it to us. At the same time, pressure forces us to rely on God in ways that we might not otherwise do. It strips away our self-sufficiency and pushes us to trust in His provision. When we feel that we are being tested to our limits, we are reminded that we are never alone. Our dependence on God in these moments is what draws us closer to Him and strengthens our relationship with Him. The more pressure we face, the more we learn to lean on His grace and to rely on His wisdom. It's also important to remember that the pressure we face is not without purpose. While it may seem painful in the moment, it's not designed to break us, but to build us. It reveals the strength we didn't know we had, helps us uncover the gifts and talents we had yet to tap into, and allows us to step into the calling God has for us. Just as a diamond is formed under immense pressure, so too are we shaped into the people God desires us to be. The pressure we face can reveal our true purpose, refine our character, and lead us toward the destiny that God has prepared for us. In our most trying moments, we are being revealed our capacity for courage, perseverance, and faith. Pressure forces us to take a hard look at ourselves and confront the things that hold us back from fully stepping into our purpose. And in doing so, we uncover a deeper, more meaningful connection to God, to others, and to the world around us. The pressure we experience is not the enemy, it is the very thing that helps us discover who we truly are and what we are truly called to do. Faith is not just a passive belief, it is an active force that drives us forward in times of uncertainty and pressure. When life pushes us to our limits, it is our faith that becomes the foundation upon which we stand. This is where the power of trusting in God comes into play. It's easy to have faith when things are going well, when life is comfortable and predictable. But real faith, the kind that fuels progress under pressure, is the kind of faith that holds firm in the midst of storms. When we face pressure, we often find ourselves at a crossroads. Either we succumb to the weight of our circumstances, or we rise above them with the strength that only faith can provide. It's in these moments that our faith is truly tested. We may question whether we are on the right path, whether God is really with us, or if we have the strength to keep moving forward. However, it is in these very moments of questioning that God's presence becomes most evident. Faith is not about having all the answers, it is about trusting that God has them, even when we cannot see the way forward. The Bible provides countless examples of individuals who faced immense pressure but were able to make progress because of their faith. Abraham, for example, was promised by God that he would become the father of many nations. Yet for years he saw no sign of this promise being fulfilled. He faced the pressure of waiting, the doubt of the unknown, and the challenge of keeping his faith alive when everything seemed to be going against him. But Abraham's faith in God's promises held firm, and in the end he saw the fulfillment of that promise in ways he could never have imagined. Similarly, in the New Testament, we see the story of Peter walking on water toward Jesus. When the storm was raging, Peter's faith allowed him to step out of the boat and walk toward Jesus. But as soon as he took his eyes off of Christ and focused on the storm, he began to sink. The lesson here is profound. Faith is not about ignoring the storm, but about keeping our focus on Christ in the midst of it. It is in trusting Him, even when the waves of life seem overwhelming, that we find the strength to keep moving forward. Peter's faith didn't remove the pressure, but it allowed him to walk through it. In our own lives, we often face similar storms, financial challenges, health crises, broken relationships, and the weight of responsibility. These pressures are real and can feel insurmountable, but faith reminds us that we are not alone in these struggles. Just as Jesus was with Peter on the water, He is with us in our struggles. When we lean on Him, our faith gives us the courage to take steps we never thought possible. It's not about our ability to handle the pressure, it's about trusting in God's ability to work through us, even in the most challenging of circumstances. Faith fuels progress because it enables us to see beyond our immediate situation. When we are caught in the midst of a difficult moment, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. But faith allows us to trust that God is working all things together for our good, even when we can't understand how. It enables us to believe that every trial we face is not in vain, that every moment of pressure is an opportunity for growth, refinement, and transformation. Faith shifts our perspective from the temporary to the eternal, from the here and now to the future God has promised us. Moreover, faith gives us the endurance to keep going when we feel like giving up. The pressures of life can weigh us down, and at times it can feel like we've reached the end of our strength. But faith in God's provision enables us to press on, even when we don't know how much longer we can endure. In 2 Corinthians 4:16-18, Paul writes that while our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. The struggles and pressures we face may be difficult, but they are not without purpose. They are strengthening us, building our character, and making us more like Christ. Faith in these moments doesn't necessarily mean that the pressure will disappear, but it means that we can endure, grow, and progress even through the trials. Additionally, faith doesn't just fuel our progress, it inspires others. When we trust in God's plan and walk by faith through difficult times, we set an example for those around us. Our faith becomes a testimony to others that even in the darkest moments, God is still at work and that progress is still possible. It's a reminder that no situation, no matter how overwhelming, is beyond the reach of God's power. When others see our faith in action, it can inspire them to trust God in their own pressures, leading to a ripple effect of progress, faith, and transformation. Faith is what empowers us to press forward when the road is unclear. It gives us the courage to take the next step, even when we can't see the end of the journey. When we are under pressure, faith reminds us that God has not abandoned us and that He will continue to guide us toward the purpose He has for us. It is through faith that we can endure, grow, and ultimately make progress under pressure. Without faith, we may find ourselves stuck in our circumstances, paralyzed by fear or uncertainty. But with faith, we can move forward with confidence, trusting that God is at work and that He will see us through to the other side. Growth rarely happens in moments of comfort. In fact, it often requires us to step out of our comfort zones and face challenges that stretch us beyond what we thought we could endure. Pressure by its very nature is uncomfortable. It forces us to confront our limitations, our fears, and our weaknesses. However, it is in the midst of this discomfort that growth occurs. It is through these difficult times that we are given the opportunity to expand, to evolve, and to become who we were always meant to be. When we are under pressure, the instinct is often to escape, to find relief, to avoid the discomfort. But the truth is, growth doesn't come from avoiding difficulty. It comes from embracing it. Just as an athlete grows stronger by pushing through the pain of training, so too do we grow stronger when we face life's pressures head-on. We don't grow when we remain in a place of ease and comfort. We grow when we are tested, when we are stretched beyond our current capacity. Think of the process of muscle building. When you lift weights, you are putting stress on your muscles. The fibers break down, causing micro tears, and it is in the recovery process that the muscles rebuild, becoming stronger than before. This process is painful, but it is necessary for growth. Similarly, in our own lives, the pressures we face break us down in certain ways, but if we allow ourselves to go through the process, we come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more capable. The discomfort of growth can also be likened to the process of pruning a tree. A tree that is left to grow without any pruning may appear healthy on the surface, but it will lack structure and strength. Pruning involves cutting away branches that are not necessary for the growth of the tree. While it may look like damage at first, the pruning process ultimately makes the tree stronger, helping it to grow more efficiently and thrive in the long term. Similarly, the pressures we face often force us to let go of things in our lives that are not serving us. They force us to confront bad habits, limiting beliefs, and distractions that prevent us from fully stepping into our purpose. It's not comfortable, but it's necessary for true growth. There's also a deeper spiritual truth to be found in this process of growth through pressure. God uses these challenges to refine us, to make us more like Him. In the book of James, we are told that trials of various kinds are a means of developing perseverance and character. It's in the testing of our faith that we learn endurance. Pressure is not just a trial, it is a tool used by God to shape us. Without these experiences, we would remain stagnant in our spiritual journey, never experiencing the fullness of what God has for us. But growth through pressure is not just about endurance, it's also about learning new skills, gaining wisdom, and becoming more self-aware. When we are under pressure, we often have to adapt, think creatively, and find new solutions to problems we've never faced before. This process of adaptation leads to growth. We may discover hidden talents, develop problem-solving skills, or learn how to manage our emotions in ways we didn't think possible. These new skills and abilities become part of who we are, and they enable us to face future challenges with greater confidence and resilience. In relationships too, growth often comes through pressure, whether in a marriage, family dynamic, or friendship. Pressures and difficulties can expose areas where we need to grow. A conflict or misunderstanding might reveal weaknesses in communication or areas where we lack patience and understanding. Rather than avoiding these uncomfortable situations, we have the opportunity to learn how to handle conflict better, how to listen more carefully, and how to show grace. These lessons, though difficult, make us stronger in our relationships and help us develop deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Pressure also teaches us to prioritize and make choices that align with our values and purpose. When life gets chaotic and overwhelming, we are forced to assess what really matters. We have to decide where to invest our time, energy, and resources. This often leads to greater clarity in our lives. We learn to say no to things that are not aligned with our goals, and we begin to focus on what truly matters. In this way, pressure helps us to align our actions with our values, making us more intentional and purposeful in how we live. One of the most powerful aspects of growth under pressure is that it often results in a deeper sense of self-confidence and resilience. As we face difficult situations and come through them stronger, we begin to trust in our ability to handle adversity. We realize that we are capable of more than we thought. We develop a sense of resilience that allows us to approach future challenges with confidence. Each experience of growth, no matter how painful or difficult, builds our capacity for handling what lies ahead. In this way, pressure doesn't break us, it molds us into stronger, more resilient individuals. As we face pressure, we are given the chance to redefine who we are and what we are capable of achieving. Every challenge we encounter is an opportunity for growth, and when we view pressure through the lens of possibility rather than fear, we can make progress even in the hardest times. Growth doesn't happen by avoiding the hard times, it happens by embracing them by choosing to learn from them, and by trusting that God is using them to refine us into the person we are meant to be. When we find ourselves under pressure, one of the most powerful tools at our disposal is the ability to focus on what we can control. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of our circumstances, especially when everything around us feels chaotic or beyond our grasp. We may find ourselves fixating on things that are out of our hands, what others think, the timing of events, or the unpredictable nature of life itself. However, focusing on what we can control provides us with clarity and direction, helping us navigate the storm with confidence. In moments of pressure, our energy is often drained by the emotional and mental exhaustion of worrying about everything that seems uncertain. We are tempted to try to solve problems that are beyond our abilities or control, and this only leads to frustration. The more we focus on things that we cannot change, the more helpless we can feel. The key to overcoming this is to redirect our focus back to the present moment and to the actions that are within our power. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges we face, it means choosing where to place our energy and attention. One of the first things we can control when under pressure is our response. While we cannot control external circumstances, we always have the ability to choose how we react to them. Our responses are influenced by our attitudes, thoughts, and beliefs. By shifting our mindset, we can take back control over how we handle stress and adversity. This doesn't mean that we deny the reality of the pressure we are under, but it means we choose to approach it with a calm, constructive attitude instead of being consumed by fear or frustration. The way we respond can either amplify the pressure or lessen its impact on us. Another aspect of what we can control is our actions. We may not have the power to change everything around us, but we can always take deliberate steps in the direction we want to go. Often, when we are under pressure, we feel paralyzed by the weight of the situation. We might not know the exact solution to our problems, but there is usually something small we can do to move forward. It could be as simple as taking a deep breath, making a phone call, or writing down a plan of action. These small steps add up over time, and they help us regain a sense of agency in our circumstances. By focusing on the actions we can control, we break the situation down into manageable pieces, making it less daunting and more achievable. Along with our actions, we can control how we manage our time. Pressure often arises when we feel overwhelmed by a never-ending list of tasks and responsibilities. The key to managing this pressure is to prioritize and make decisions about where we direct our time and energy. Instead of trying to do everything at once or pleasing everyone around us, we must choose what is most important in that moment. This may mean setting aside some tasks for later, delegating responsibilities, or saying no to requests that don't align with our priorities. Time is a finite resource, and how we spend it directly impacts our ability to handle pressure. By controlling how we allocate our time, we can reduce the feeling of being scattered and increase our focus and productivity. One of the most powerful things we can control when under pressure is our self-care. Stress can take a serious toll on our mental, emotional, and physical health. In the midst of pressure, it's easy to neglect our well-being, but doing so only weakens our ability to cope with challenges. Taking care of ourselves, whether it's through rest, exercise, nutrition, or simply taking time to relax, restores our energy and helps us stay grounded. Even in the midst of demanding circumstances, we must prioritize self-care to ensure we can continue moving forward with clarity and strength. By controlling how we care for ourselves, we ensure that we remain resilient in the face of pressure. When it comes to relationships, we can control how we engage with others during times of pressure. Relationships can often feel strained when we are under stress, and misunderstandings can arise if we are not careful. In these moments, we can choose to communicate clearly, practice patience, and extend grace to those around us. We may not be able to change the behavior of others, but we can control how we respond to them. Healthy, supportive relationships can be a lifeline during difficult times, and by choosing to nurture them, we create a network of strength that helps us face pressure with confidence. Another key area where we have control is our mindset. When under pressure, our thoughts can either propel us forward or keep us stuck in a cycle of negativity. It is crucial to choose thoughts that align with hope, faith, and optimism. This doesn't mean denying the reality of the challenges we face, but instead choosing to focus on the possibility of growth and progress. When we choose to see pressure as an opportunity for development rather than a threat, we gain the mental clarity needed to move forward. Our mindset shapes our experience, and by cultivating a positive, growth-oriented mindset, we open ourselves to new opportunities and solutions. Finally, we can control the beliefs we hold about ourselves and our abilities. Pressure often leads to self-doubt, making us question whether we are capable of overcoming the obstacles in front of us. However, by focusing on the strengths, skills, and resilience we've built over time, we can boost our confidence and self-belief. Reflecting on past challenges we've overcome reminds us that we are more capable than we may initially think. Our belief in ourselves fuels our ability to keep going even when the pressure feels overwhelming. The way we view ourselves directly impacts how we face challenges and how we move through times of pressure. By focusing on what we can control, we reclaim our sense of agency and purpose. Pressure will always be a part of life, but when we direct our energy toward the areas where we have power, we can reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed and start making tangible progress. When we respond with intention and mindfulness, we empower ourselves to handle life's challenges with resilience and confidence. The key is to remember that while we cannot control everything around us, we can always control our actions, our mindset, and our choices. This gives us the strength and clarity to keep moving forward, no matter how heavy the pressure may seem. In the midst of pressure, it can be easy to become consumed by the weight of our circumstances. We may feel like we are fighting a never-ending battle, constantly facing challenges that seem insurmountable. However, if we shift our perspective, we can begin to see that pressure is not just something to endure, but also an opportunity to learn. Every challenge we face, no matter how difficult or overwhelming, holds within it the potential to teach us something valuable. The lessons we gain from these moments can shape our future and help us become stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle whatever comes our way. One of the first lessons pressure teaches us is how to be resilient. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover quickly from setbacks, and to keep moving forward despite the challenges we face. When we experience pressure, we are often forced to dig deep within ourselves and find strength that we may not have known we possessed. This resilience is built over time through repeated exposure to difficulty, and it becomes a muscle that grows stronger the more we use it. In the moment, it may feel like we are being broken by the weight of our circumstances, but in reality, we are being refined and prepared for the future. Each time we face pressure and persevere through it, we build the resilience needed to face even greater challenges ahead. Pressure also teaches us patience. When we are in the middle of a difficult situation, we often want immediate results. We want things to change quickly, and we want relief from the pressure as soon as possible. However, pressure often doesn't work on our timeline. It requires us to wait, to endure, and to trust that things will improve in time. In these moments, we learn the value of patience, understanding that progress doesn't always come in an instant, and that sometimes the process is just as important as the outcome. Patience allows us to remain steady, to stay focused on what we can control, and to trust that in time things will work out as they are meant to. This lesson is vital because in life there will always be moments where we have to wait for things to unfold. The ability to remain patient and trust in the process is a skill that can carry us through many of life's challenges. Another lesson we learn under pressure is how to prioritize. Pressure often comes when we are juggling multiple tasks, responsibilities, and commitments. In these moments, we are forced to make decisions about what is most important and where our energy is best spent. We may have to let go of certain things, delegate tasks, or put some projects on hold in order to focus on what truly matters. This process of prioritization helps us gain clarity about our goals and values. It teaches us to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important, and to focus on the things that will make the greatest impact in our lives. Through this lesson, we learn how to manage our time, energy, and resources more effectively, ensuring that we are moving in the direction of our purpose. Pressure also teaches us to lean on others. When we are under stress, we often try to handle everything ourselves, believing that we must bear the burden alone. However, pressure reveals the importance of community and support. We were never meant to go through life's challenges in isolation. In moments of difficulty, reaching out to others for help, advice, or encouragement can make all the difference. Learning to ask for help when we need it is a valuable lesson that pressure teaches us. It humbles us and reminds us that we don't have to have all the answers and that there is strength in unity. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a family member, the support we receive during times of pressure can provide us with the strength and perspective we need to keep moving forward. In addition to these practical lessons, pressure teaches us to trust in something greater than ourselves. When we are faced with challenges that feel overwhelming, we may reach a point where we realize that we cannot do it all on our own. This is when pressure often leads us to a deeper faith as we come to understand that there are forces beyond our control. It's in these moments that we learn to trust in God's plan for our lives, even when we don't fully understand it. Pressure forces us to let go of the illusion of control and to surrender to the process. It teaches us to trust in the timing of things, to believe that God is working all things together for our good, and to have faith that we are not alone in our struggles. This trust is not something that comes easily or quickly, but it is a lesson that pressure helps us learn as we navigate the ups and downs of life. Pressure also teaches us the value of perseverance. There will be moments when the challenges we face feel never-ending, when the pressure seems too much to bear. In those times, we are often tempted to quit or to give up, believing that the struggle is not worth the effort. But it is in these moments that perseverance becomes one of our most important lessons. Perseverance is the ability to keep going, even when the path is difficult and the outcome is uncertain. It teaches us that success is not always about avoiding failure, but about continuing to push forward despite it. Through pressure, we learn that perseverance is not just about enduring, but about growing stronger with each step we take, knowing that the effort will eventually pay off. Lastly, pressure teaches us the importance of self-reflection. When we are under pressure, we are often forced to take a step back and evaluate where we are in our journey. We reflect on our actions, our choices, and our mindset. We begin to ask ourselves important questions. What can we learn from this experience? What changes do we need to make in our approach? How can we grow from this challenge? Pressure forces us to look inward and evaluate ourselves, leading to greater self-awareness and personal growth. It helps us recognize areas where we can improve and gives us the opportunity to course correct before moving forward. This reflection is crucial for long-term progress, as it ensures that we are constantly learning and evolving as we navigate life's pressures. In life, the journey of progress is rarely smooth or without obstacles. The path we walk is often full of unexpected turns, difficult challenges, and moments of uncertainty. However, it is precisely in these moments that we are presented with opportunities to tap into a deeper well of strength and determination. When we experience pressure, we are not only given the chance to demonstrate resilience, but we are also being presented with the opportunity to change our perspective and redefine what success and progress truly mean. Pressure, when viewed from the right angle, becomes a catalyst for transformation, a force that propels us to greater heights. One of the first ways that pressure can lead to transformation is by reshaping our character. When we are under pressure, our true nature often comes to the surface. The way we handle stress, adversity, and difficulty reveals the depth of our character and the strength of our inner resolve. Pressure forces us to confront our weaknesses, our fears, and our limitations. It challenges us to become the best version of ourselves by showing us areas where we need to grow and evolve. While this process can be uncomfortable, it is in these moments of pressure that we have the greatest potential for personal growth. We are given the chance to refine our character, to strengthen our resolve, and to emerge from the pressure with greater clarity and purpose. Pressure also provides us with an opportunity to clarify our values and priorities. In times of challenge, we are forced to make decisions about what truly matters to us. The distractions and trivialities of everyday life tend to fade away when we are under pressure. We are confronted with the things that are most important, whether it's our relationships, our health, our faith, or our purpose. Pressure strips away the excess and brings us face to face with the core of who we are and what we stand for. This clarity is invaluable because it helps us make more intentional choices moving forward. We become less concerned with the opinions of others or the superficial markers of success, and more focused on living according to what we value most. Pressure in this way can realign our hearts and minds, directing us toward the things that truly matter. Furthermore, pressure can ignite a sense of purpose and motivation that drives us to take action. When things are easy, it's easy to become complacent. We may go through the motions of life without feeling a deep sense of urgency or purpose. But when we are under pressure, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of making the most of the time we have. This heightened sense of awareness pushes us to take action, to stop procrastinating, and to move forward with purpose. Pressure forces us out of our comfort zones, urging us to take risks, make bold decisions, and pursue the things that truly matter. It is often in the moments of greatest difficulty that we find the courage to take steps that we might have avoided otherwise. Moreover, the pressure we experience can serve as a powerful teacher. Every challenge we face offers us valuable lessons that we can carry with us throughout our lives. Pressure teaches us patience, perseverance, and adaptability. It forces us to think creatively and find solutions to problems that we might not have encountered otherwise. Through pressure, we learn how to handle failure and rejection, to manage our emotions, and to bounce back from setbacks. We gain wisdom and insight that can only come from lived experience. While the lessons of pressure may not always be easy or pleasant, they are incredibly valuable, and they shape us into individuals who are capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and confidence. Pressure also fosters a sense of empathy and compassion for others. When we experience difficulty, we gain a deeper understanding of what others are going through. We are reminded that everyone is facing their own battles, whether visible or hidden, and that we are all connected by our shared experiences of struggle. This empathy enables us to be more compassionate and supportive of those around us. We become more inclined to offer help, encouragement, and kindness to others who are going through tough times. The pressure we experience doesn't just transform us internally, it also deepens our relationships and strengthens our connections with others. Through our own struggles, we become better equipped to offer support and understanding to those who are facing their own challenges. In addition to fostering empathy, pressure helps to build our resilience and mental toughness. When we are under pressure, we are often pushed to our limits, but it is in these moments that we discover just how strong we truly are. Each time we face adversity and overcome it, we strengthen our ability to handle future challenges. Resilience is not a trait that we are born with. It is something that is developed over time through repeated exposure to difficulty. Pressure, in this sense, acts as a training ground for our mental and emotional fortitude. The more we face, the more we grow. Over time, we learn how to manage stress more effectively, how to keep going even when things get tough, and how to maintain our focus and composure in the face of adversity. Pressure also brings out our creativity and innovation. When we are under stress, we are often forced to think outside the box and come up with solutions that we wouldn't have considered in easier times. The urgency and the stakes can ignite a spark of creativity that pushes us to look for new approaches, strategies, and ideas. Pressure challenges us to break free from old patterns of thinking and to embrace fresh perspectives. In this way, pressure can lead to breakthroughs both in our personal lives and in our work. It helps us see opportunities where we once saw obstacles, and it encourages us to experiment, take risks, and try new things. Finally, pressure can strengthen our faith and trust in God. When we are under pressure, we are often faced with situations that are beyond our control, and this can lead us to a place of surrender. We are reminded that we are not alone in our struggles and that God is with us, guiding us through each challenge. Pressure teaches us to rely on God's strength rather than our own, to trust in His timing, and to believe that He is working all things together for our good. In this way, pressure becomes a tool for spiritual growth, deepening our trust and dependence on God in ways that ease and comfort never could. Pressure, when viewed through the right lens, is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It has the power to transform us in profound ways, shaping our character, deepening our purpose, and strengthening our resolve. By facing pressure with the right attitude, we can turn it into a powerful force for growth and progress. Rather than avoiding pressure, we can learn to leverage it as a catalyst for change, transformation, and spiritual renewal.